Hey guys, we're at 1,000. I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support and helping me get to this grand. It's a moment. It's a moment. It's a moment. Let's make a video about it. That's what I'm doing. Yep. Alright, great start. So thanks. Thank you very much for the support. The support especially really means a lot. Like, it does. It really does. Like, good lord, it does. It's been a little bit. It's been a bit of time. I thoroughly enjoy the presence of people. I do. Yeah, I don't know what else I was gonna do for 1K. I was literally just gonna say, hey, scream into the mic, say thank you, and just end it. But I guess I tag Q&A. Alright, the first question is by Adam, saying, when did you start playing WoW and what is your favorite vid? Well, I think that's a good one to start off on. Because it's like, hey, who are you? You kind of came out of why? So, I started playing WoW when I was 8 years old, roughly. I remember my dad telling me to come on over. Hey, come on over. And he was like, I was like, hey, what's a good, why? So I went over there, and he was like, here, this is your character. I was like, oh, I got a character! I got a character! And what lied before me was a level 8 warlock named Lucron. And that was like 13 going on 14 years ago. Back in Vanilla WoW, the good old Vanilla, 2004. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got a character! And I was like so excited to play WoW because I remember watching my dad play all the freaking time. And yeah, that's how I started playing WoW. It's because my dad was like, you know what? There, got a pat on the back. There you go. You get a warlock. I was like, ah, ah. As for my favorite video, after a little bit of clarification, he meant my favorite video that I've made. I would have to say it's the guide, because out of all of the videos I've made, the only one that actually is fundamentally based to benefit people is the guide. Because everything else is just me being an idiot in a battleground and not caring about what's going on. So, yeah, the guide is when I actually cared about, like, hey, I want more people to play this class because I'm feeling lonely over here. So yeah, I guess that answers that question. All right, the next question is by Nadia. Simply says, add-ons. Well, that actually covers one of the most frequently asked questions I have. In that, what's that thing that tracks over your head that shows the Doom Shard stuff? And yeah, what is that thing that tracks the shards that's gonna come in? And that is the absolute most frequently asked question I get. And so, like, I might as well just like show you. These are all my add-ons right here. I got Doom Shards, nameplate cooldowns, tell me when, recount. It's pretty much all I use. Alright, so that answers that question. Next one, it's a bit of a doozy. It's got a lot in it. It's by David Airday. This is a lot. Let's just bolt right on through it. How old are you? 21. You live in the US, right? Yes. What do you do for a living? It's a very glorious and grand job that I'm not comfortable in talking about. I stock shelves. Yeah. Favorite food. I'm a pleb. I don't have very grand favorite foods. It's literally just Velveeta brand shells and cheese pizza. I love my cheese, okay? And before anyone yells at me for saying I'm a freaking like immature taste buds or something like that for only liking cheese pizza, I can eat the other pizzas. Just when I bite into pizza, I want cheese to overflow my mouth, and when anything else is in there, it dilutes that flavor of pure cheese. I love my cheese, okay? Okay. It rings out in my jokes. Lots of cheese in that. Yeah. And then, a few other WoW-related questions, like, how and when did you start playing World of Warcraft? I kind of answered that already, so I think we're good there. How come you're playing on the Horde side? Well, because primarily, back in Vanilla, you could only have one faction on a server. So, since I was given a Horde level 8 undead warlock to play, I was like, you know what? This is home. This is home for me. That's the first time I got into WoW. That's like that. I just got used to being on the Horde. I was like, this is my home. I'm staying on Horde. I remember faction changing in to Alliance for a little bit because I got upset with the guild and I decided to solo camp the entire raid because I was like their main the only PvP guy in that guild. And so as soon as I came along, literally those 10 guys just could not take me down. Ironically, I was demo and I was actually really used to doing Affliction, but somehow I managed to do it with demo. So that's pretty cool. On the Alliance side, I really didn't have... I was in a guild, but it was like... I was just kind of there. I didn't feel at home at the Alliance. I just didn't. Next question. Who race your characters? The ones we haven't seen yet. You know what? Let's show you all of it. I got a Blood Elf. Got an Undead. An Orc. Undead. Gnome. Night Elf. Undead. Night Elf. Blood Elf. Next server. Alright, I got a human. I was a beast with this one. I got a Pandaren, the only one. A Tauren, probably the only one. Blood Elf. Worgen. Draenei. Worgen. Gnome. Night Elf. Draenei. Dwarf. Night Elf. And for this one, I pretty much only played the Demon Hunter. Yeah, this is the only one I play on this server. These other 3, I don't really play at all. Actually, that goes for a lot of the other ones. I don't really play these 3 ever because I level them up with the Legion pre-event. But the ones I actually still play is this one, that one, the Demon Hunter and Tichondrius, and my Monk, and my Mage. It's pretty much all I play out of this entire list. Next question is by Toby Uoso. Just a random dude. How are you feeling about the BFA demonology changes, if you've seen them? I'm a little mixed. I really like the direction that Blizzard's going with demonology. I love the whole summoner fantasy, and they're definitely pushing more towards that. Except, we're a lot more cast time based than ever than in Legion. Because we're losing Doom, which turns into a talent that goes back to one of its other forms where it's a 30-second long tick. And I don't know if it generated a soul shard or not. I could be wrong. But still, 30 seconds, like from a purely PvP standpoint, that's worthless. All right, that's not worth anything. I don't know if it's gonna be ticking like at 15 seconds and 30 seconds like it did one of the other renditions of it, but still, that's a little long. From what I've seen, we're losing Infernal, and that's being given to the Destruction Warlocks only, and that's really not... That's not sitting well for me because I love my Inferno. It's amazing for getting out of sticky situations. And the fact that that's going away is having me a little concerned for our survivability. We still have the Grimoire of Service, so that's good. We still got this Pet Stun. I think we still have Mortal Coil. We should still be decent with CC, but I mean, we still have Doomguard, I believe, so I can settle with that. Shadow Fury's baseline, which is amazing. I like that. I really like that change. Shadow Fury's baseline, so I guess that makes up for the Inferno. But the thing is, I don't know if Shadow Fury is gonna do DR with stuns because the Inferno sure didn't. And that was great for lining up CC. We lost like our AoE, like Demon Wrath. So that's like that soul shard regeneration. All of our soul shard regeneration now comes from Shadow Bolt and Soulfire. And I know Soulfire gives 2 soul shards, but man, it's all still a cast time, and that's not looking good for PvP. I haven't really looked into the changes for every other class, so I don't know if everyone else has been slowed down a bit. Because I noticed there's been like a flat 1 second reduction on all the stuns that I've seen so far. So maybe they're cutting back a bit on the CC. But then again, that will make Rogue Blind, Mage Polymorph a lot more powerful in comparison to the stuns then, so that would put them in a higher rate. Then again, Warlocks will be a bit higher with the Fear as well, so we'll see what happens. There's also the Honor Talents that I have not seen. The Honor Talents is why I've got curious, because they could do anything with those. Whatever the Honor Talents they put in. I heard recently that the Honor Talents are being changed up to be like a glyph system, like the old time glyph system. I find that very interesting. I wonder how many options we'll have and how big the change of the glyphs would be. But that also means there's not going to be too many changes from what we have baseline to our playstyle. So again, I'm really concerned that we're going to be even easier to interrupt than before, a lot less mobile, and we're definitely a lot more cast time based. But I do hope a lot of that changes in the future, because cast time is a thing of a past at this point, and everyone's all about instants. Unless Blizzard's rechanging everything to go back to its older days. But we'll see how that turns out. The other question that kind of goes hand in hand, what are your thoughts on the new demo lock changes? I pretty much answered that, but what spells would you miss the most? For Whiskey, it's Dark Glare. For me, it's Doom. To be honest, it's Doom. I know we still have it, but it's not the same as the one we have now. If anyone knows me, I spam Doom everywhere. Doom is like my favorite ability to use, because it's like, you're on Doom! And I can just like point at people and say, you're doomed! And they die.
You're doomed. Doom. Doom. You must be war chief. You're doomed. You're all doomed.
It's great. But I'm not going to be able to do that in next expansion. There's also the Inferno that I mentioned, but Doom, I'm going to miss that ability. I'm going to miss that one a lot. Oh man, I'm not going to miss Demonic Empowerment. That's something they got rid of. I'm glad about that. I'm fine with that change. Demonic Empowerment going bye-bye is good on me. Next question is by Muerto Viviente. I butchered it. I tried to be fancy and this is what happens. Anywho. Is Demonology your favorite spec, right? If so, why? Well, right now, Demonology feels most, out of all the specs in the game, Demonology right now feels most like it did back when I first started playing, where you have all these abilities and you have these cast times, and most of the skill was based around what ability you used in order. Like, what abilities did you pick for that situation? Speed was definitely a aspect on skill and how fast you did things, but it was more on the sense on what abilities you decided to combo up with, what abilities to do, what pet did you use, and how did you utilize that pet to the fullest extent of your abilities, and how did you use it to line it up with everything else. And out of everything else, Demonology seems to be the most like that. And I remember for the longest time I played Affliction from day one. I really, every time I looked at the Demonology talent tree, I still remember that sound effect when you open the talents, but every time I looked at Demonology, I would always be like, man, that looks like so fun to play. I really want to play that, but I never really quite got my head wrapped around Demonology, so I always played Affliction because it was easier. Just fear someone, dot them up, and they die. Back then, people didn't break out of CC very easily, especially Fear. And after a while, it became like a random hit or something until they broke out of Fear. Because sometimes they get hit super mega hard and they wouldn't break out of it. But other times you hit them with like a melee attack and they'll break out of it. It's really random. But yeah, with Warlock, you just dot things up and just fear them and try to live. That was pretty much the entire basis of the class, for Affliction at least. And I just got so used to that because I pretty much played exclusively that spec for the longest time. Like from vanilla all the way through what? Oh man. I kind of slacked off playing the Warlock after Wrath of the Lich King. Cataclysm, my rogue, became my main. The Miss Pandera, it was the monk. I didn't really play much Warlock during those two expansions. Warlords of Draenor is when I actually finally went back into Demonology, so I didn't really experience... A lot of people are saying Miss Pandaria Demonology Warlock was the best, and I didn't really experience that. I played a monk as well, so I was like, hey, I can't tell how powerful everyone else is. I'm a monk. No. But yeah, I'm curious of what people were talking about the whole Miss Pandaria Demonology, because I don't remember too much about that. My memory in general just sucks. But yeah, that was a really drawn out answer. But Demonology right now is my favorite spec because it harkens to the olden days when I was leveling up my Warlock, and it just got me a little nostalgic. Man, I've answered this question like 3 times already, and I'm still not moving on. I should start moving on. So there's your answer to that question. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are all the questions for now. I don't see much of a point with a Q&A video, to be honest, because I pretty much usually answer just about almost every question that's been given to me, unless the notifications don't do their job and tell me there's a comment. I don't know why I do this Q&A, because I pretty much already answer everyone's questions in the comments. And I do it a lot more thoroughly too, because I type better than I speak. If any of you notice, I actually sound somewhat educated when I type. When I'm talking, I sound like a freaking bumbling buffoon. Okay, yeah, there's a Q&A. Okay, well, I think we're done. Yeah, how do I end this video? Do I do an outro? You know what? I'm probably never gonna do a PvP montage, because I'm just not lucky enough to get all the clips in. So I think I'm just gonna do like a mini PvP montage with that one clip I'm super proud of at the end of an AV. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with me trying to do a montage of that. It's probably gonna end up making this video late because of the time it's gonna take to edit that part in. But you know what? That clip, I don't want it to go. I don't want it to go to waste. I really wanted to make a PvP montage, but I've not even started on it. I haven't been doing PvP in my own time and recording it. Most of the time when I'm playing WoW, I'm listening to a YouTube video or something. I have ADHD. I have such bad ADHD. But yeah, just take the clip here. Bye.